Look at this. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 17 through 19, it says this. Let me say this then. Speaking for the Lord, live no longer as the unsaved do, for they are blinded and confused. Their closed hearts are full of darkness. They are far away from the life of God because they have shut their minds against him, and they cannot understand his ways. They don't care anymore about right and wrong and have given themselves over to impure ways. They stop at nothing, being driven by their evil minds and reckless lust. This is one of the best descriptions I have found in the Bible about your old way of life. He says this, living as the unsaved do. Think back. Since you have gotten saved, since you came to Jesus Christ, has your behavior changed? And I'm not saying just a little bit, but no. Has it changed? Have you changed? Are you the same person you were? Are you still going and doing what you used to do when you were in the world? And if you're a believer, if you're a Christian, if you're a disciple, then you don't live like the unsaved do. We've got churches today that are changing their doctrine to accommodate worldly views so that they don't get shut down by the government. I know this is going to go on YouTube already, but when we are living the way the unsaved do. Y'all are quiet on me. Are you getting this? I'm just walking you through teaching today. Is that okay? Living the way the unsaved do. Think in your mind. Don't have to answer me out loud. But thinking the way the unsaved live right now. When you watch the news, what do you see? Some of us don't watch the news because we don't like what we see. Murder, rape, child molestation, right? Thievery, theft, all of the above. And he says that we are blinded and confused. Think about this. Before you came to Jesus Christ, you were blinded and confused. You would just, what are we doing today? I don't know, but I just feel like I want to get high. I just want to go out and party. I just want to do. It's not until you, and that's the reason why people who are unsaved don't understand the things of God. The Bible says that they can't even perceive the things of God. They can't even understand the things of God. It makes no sense to them. The second thing he says is their closed hearts are full of darkness. Think back to the time that your sin had you the most bound. When you are bound by sin, your heart is full of darkness. And all you think about is sinful behavior. I know, because I was there. When you're full of light and you watch something on TV or you see something, it grieves your heart because the Spirit of God lives in you. When you were in your former way of your former old life, you were full of darkness and always scheming and always thinking of ways to satisfy your fleshly desires. Man, think about it. Get real with yourself right now. Come on. Think about how many times did you go, man, I can't wait till this weekend, man. We're going to go out and party, man. Oh, we're going to go out and high. We're going to go out and do this. We're going to go out and do that. Right? The third thing he says is that the people in the old that live, the unsaved, they don't care anymore about right or wrong. When you were out in the world, if you didn't care what was right or wrong, you just wanted to do what felt good. Right? You wanted to do what made you happy. That's the world's philosophy. If it makes you happy, you deserve to be happy. Right? That's the world's way of thinking. Number 4 says they have given themselves over to impure ways. Impure ways. What are some impure ways? They are gossips, they are liars, they are cheaters, they are thieves, they are murderers, they are adulterers, they are fornicators, they are corrupt in their way of thinking. That's the works of the flesh. We don't live according to the Spirit when you're allowing the flesh to control you. When you're allowing the flesh to control you, your flesh is directing your steps. Your flesh is directing your decisions. Hey, you come into men's Bible study? Oh no, Pastor, I got things I got to do. They're given over to impure ways, and then later on they're doing stuff that they shouldn't have been doing. We've had people that would come to church, and I remember one time we had somebody that they came and they got baptized, and then that afternoon they went out and got high and started partying. They're celebrating their baptism. I'm like, this isn't that kind of baptism. Number 5, they're driven by their evil minds and reckless lusts. Think about this. When you are bound by sin, you will go out of your way to feed your sin. Hello? You go out of your way. You'll do what it takes. You'll drive across the country if it means to feed that lust. Feed that sin. Feed that habit. Feed that addiction. Feed that bondage. That's what your flesh wants. That's your old life. But listen to this. When your old life is passed away, you are free to become something better. When your old life is passed away, and that word passed away literally in the Greek means to die. It's died and been put in the ground. See, we all want to be remembered. The story I heard of a lady that she loved her husband so much. He was so amazing. She just loved how he loved her, and she just could not bear the thought of letting him go. So when he passed away, she had him preserved and put in a glass case. And then at night, she'd come home, and she would set him up before she'd go to work. She'd set him up. So when she walked in the door, his case was there waiting for her. He was there waiting for her. At night, she would sit down, and she would sit down to dinner, and she would wheel him over and put him next to the table so he could be there with her when she ate. And she did this for a long time. And little by little, eventually she stopped coming home a lot, and she ended up running into somebody and falling in love with somebody else and got married. And the day he brings her back to the house, and he picks her up and carries her over the threshold. He opens the door. And as he opens the door opens and hits that glass case. And the moral of that story is you can't go into a new life with your old man still around. You can't go into your new life with your old man still hanging out. You've got to bury the old man. You've got to bury the old life.